All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking about exception handling in C sharp. And the way we handle exceptions in C sharp is by using what we call try catch blocks. And in addition to that, sometimes we also use the finally block as well. Today we're going to talk about how you can use these blocks to make your code run better, to handle exceptions, take them into consideration, so that your code it doesn't do anything crazy or funky, just shut down unexpectedly. But you take those things into consideration. So that's what we'll talk about.
Okay, so if you look at this little console program that I have right here, you see that I am initializing a couple of variables, x and a y, setting the x to 5 and the y to 6. And then you're going to see on line number 16, I have this keyword called try. And in this particular code block, I am going to assign the value of x divided by 0. Now, anyone that has been programming for a while, you know that when you try to divide a number by 0, it's going to give you an error message. And so, what this program, as we run it through it, it should hit line 22 and print out the exception um, to show what the exception is, and then we're going to see whether or not this line 26 is going to get caught inside of the finally block. So this is how we deal with exceptions in C sharp. Let's step through the code and let's see what happens. All right. All right. So we see that x has been assigned to 5, y has been set to 6. Then we enter in this try block, and we're going to see if what happens when we try to divide x, in this case 5 by 0. All right, as you can see right here, it gets an attempt to divide by 0. It's system that divide by 0 exception, and so that means it should hit line 22. We'll step through it again. Continue on, hits that exception. All right. So in this case, we see that this is the message here. We could go back and I'm going to add, let's see, console dot write line, and then we're going to do ex dot message dot to string. All right, I'm going to bring it back up here. All right, continue editing. All right, all right. We be able to apply changes. All right, and I want to show you what happens. So we know it's going to hit this. We know when it gets here, it's going to hit um, this catch. So step through it again. Step through it. Going to hit that system.divide by 0 exception. Let's continue on here. And then we see that the console, let's bring up the console just so you can see it. And you see right here, attempt to divide by 0. All right, that is the exception that was given. That's the same thing as the ex.message that we have printed out to the console. Let us know. Now, let's continue on and let's see what happens. Will it hit that finally block? So we see we hit it the finally block. So we just saw that we had an exception, and now it hits the finally block. Hit that one more time. Check the console one more time, and now we see that it says this is the finally block. Okay. All right. So let's stop it now. Let's change the code that's going to be tried inside the try block, and let's see if we hit the finally block. Let's see what happens. Changed up the program, whatnot, and you're going to see here, I'm going to go ahead and just step through it. We're going to get to line number 18. Let's step to it right now. We see we enter the try block, and now when we're trying to assign a value to z, we're going to add x plus y. X we see is 5, y is 6, and so that should assign the value of z to be 11. All right, so let's step through it and let's see what happens. We should not hit the catch block because there was no issue whatsoever that we ran into our program. But we do hit line number 26, and we do hit the finally block. And as we step through it, we see that we hit line 27, and right here on the console, you see that it says this is the finally block.
So these are the key takeaways that I want you to know about exception handling. Specifically, as we're talking about C#, you have your try block, you have your catch block, and then you also have the finally block that you definitely need to know about. The try block is the portion of the code that you know that there may be an issue that you run into. You may run into an exception, and so this is the code that you actually want to test to see, hey, if something happens, I want to make sure that the next block of code, the catch section, that it's going to handle it correctly. Let you know and gracefully allow the program to continue to go on. And last but not least, we also want to have the finally block that you can use, which is usually used to maybe clean up some files, close connection, things of that nature. But this is how we handle exceptions, very similar to how we handle exceptions in other programming languages and whatnot, but specifically for C#, to handle exceptions, we use the try, catch, and we also use the finally block to handle exceptions and to make sure that our programs, they run smoothly as possible. And if there is an issue that comes up, that our programs handle it gracefully. So hope this little video that it helped you out. Hopefully you have a better understanding of how you as a C# developer can use the try, catch, finally code blocks to be able to handle exceptions in your program. Remember what this series is about. This series is making sure that you understand and you know your craft. Till our next video, blessings.